So, kids, make sure you're happy, you're sitting in a comfortable position. Legs wide, legs crossed, in a chair, doesn't matter. So we're first going to make those big circles and we're going to go one way around, a few times. Then we go the other way around just to loosen the back up. We are going to do the Uttiyana Bandha rolls. I haven't forgotten about those. So just a couple times just to warm the hips and the back up. Close your eyes if you feel like it or keep them open. Now we come back to center. Shoulders are right over your hips, and we're going to just move the midsection of the body. Go one way around, then the other way. Close your eyes. We're warming your spinal fluid up. We're strengthening your core. You're going to feel it in your back. That means it's working. Breathe. In just a few moments, we'll stop and do a little exploration of the movement and how it works with our spinal fluid. Just a few more times around. Now, I know your back muscles are getting tight. Don't worry, they'll get loose. And now come back to center. Eyes are closed. Turn the palms of both hands up towards the ceiling while the hands are resting on your legs. Take a deep breath in, let it out with a big sigh. Oh. Notice the tingling sensation in the palms of your hands. It's your nervous system. Find the same tingling sensation in the soles of your feet. Real or imagined, doesn't matter. Allow that energy in your feet to rise up into your calves. Let that sparkling, tingling sensation move into your knees and flow all the way up into your thighs. Allow this sparkling, tingling sensation to enter the pelvic basin itself. Real or imagined, doesn't matter. Choose a color you can associate with this energy. And on your next inhale, draw this color. Take this energy all the way up the spine. Hold the breath. Out through the nose if you can. Let the breath glide out of the body. In the next breath, draw this energy all the way up again. Hold the breath a moment longer. And on the release, let your shoulders melt down the back. In your final breath, draw this energy all the way up to the crown of the head. Imagine it sparking throughout your whole body. And on the release, let the day melt away with your breath. With your next inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, only bow to where it feels comfortable to you. Shoulders relax. Let the head hang down. Please use this moment. Balance the breath with the mind and the body. Now take a deep breath in and rise all the way up. Put the backs of the hands together and bring them to the heart. With your next inhale, open the arms out wide. Exhale, let your hands meet. Inhale, reach up. On the exhale, hands come to the heart. Namaste. Release your hands. Work the wrists around. Unfold them. Fold them the opposite way. Work your wrists around. Now, shake those hands out. We're going to take our legs out in front of us. So stretch the legs out, work your ankles around, simple ankle rolls. Let's warm those hips up. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet in together. We're going to give ourselves a gentle bow. Doesn't matter how far you go. Doesn't matter if you're setting up high, letting those shoulders and the head relax. But we're all going to take that deep cleansing breath and we're going to go. We're going to gently lift back up. Take the legs out. Work your ankles around. Little circles. Don't go far. Just give yourself a little bow. Now, with an inhale, bring it back up. Heels come together. Give yourself a gentle bow. Inhale, bring it back up. Take your heels out. Gently, a little bow. Now take a deep breath and go. Oh. We're going to inhale, lift back up, bring your heels in, give yourself one last gentle bow. And then we're going to lift up, hands behind your thighs, feet on the floor, hands back behind you, and you're rocking knees from side to side. Nothing fancy, gentle twisting. Now, get those feet far apart, as wide as your yoga mat, maybe wider. Press only one knee down. Hold that and keep breathing. Get that internal rotation in your hip socket. Few deep breaths. If you need a yoga prop, stick it underneath your knee. If you're not feeling it enough, walk your foot out wider. You'll feel it more. Now bring the knee back up. Let's go to the other side. Hold that and keep breathing. Open that hip up. Take a deep breath. Oh. You may actually feel it clunk into place. Bring it back up. Go to the first side. Hopefully it's easier. Bring it back up and go to the second side. Bring it back up. Walk those feet and knees in together. Meet me on your hands and knees any way you want to. Please make sure your knees are well padded. Spread your fingers. Soft spot of your elbow, they're both rotated forward like they're headlights. Relax your toes, round your back up into the ceiling, and gently press the hips low. We're going to inhale, lift into tabletop back. Exhale, press it back, tuck the chin. Inhale, lift to tabletop back. And last time, press it back, tuck the chin. Lift back up. Now, bring your right hand to the middle of the mat. The left hand goes off, so it's a shoulder width distance. Round your back up to cat. Gently press your hips low, elbows off the floor. Inhale, lift to tabletop back. And exhale, press it back, tuck the chin. Look up at those hands. Take the right hand, put it on top of your left hand. Drop your head between straight arms. Now, let that right side drop down. Look underneath your left side and breathe. Get that twist inward. Untwist yourself. Take your hand off. Lift up. Move yourself to the center. Left hand to the middle. Right hand goes off, a shoulder width distance. Round your back up into cat pose. Press the hips back. Tuck the chin. Lift into table. Look at the spot between your thumbs. Exhale, tuck your chin and press it back. Now look up at your hands. Put the left hand on top of your right hand. Let your head drop inside the arms. Twist inward. You're looking out from underneath the outside arm, your right arm. Twist as much or as little as you want. Untwist yourself. Take your hand off. Lift up. Come all the way back to the center. Please move those hips in big, huge circles. Go one way, go the other way. This stretches your knees all the way to the hips, the lower back, your sacrum. Now the toes roll under on both feet. Take your right leg out and press strongly through the heel of that foot. Get deep into the heel of that right foot. Now we're not bending the right knee, but we soften the right knee. Let the stretch change behind the right leg. It gets into your ankle, but it actually gets behind your calf muscle. Now engage it again. Pick the leg up, take it to the left side, toes on the floor, press through the heel of your foot, look over your left shoulder at your right heel. You may never see that heel. That's okay. Breathe. Press into the big toe side, point that heel up. And then you're going to take your leg back, wiggle your ankle, put your knee on the floor, relax your toes, move those hips around. Go one way, go the other way. Kids, let's get the other side. Roll the toes under. Are you home, Kelly? I hope you are. Take that left leg out. Put the toes on the floor and press deep into the heel of that foot. Breathe here. Soften the knee. Engage it again. Now we're going to pick that left foot up, bring it over to the right side. Press through the heel of your left foot and look over your right shoulder. Press through your big toe side, point that heel up, and then wiggle your ankle, put your knee on the floor, relax your toes, hips move in circles, one way. Let's go the other way. Kids, take a child's pose, round the back, take a couple of breaths there. Now we're going to lift up. Our first yin pose is going to be half dragonfly. So sit on something comfortable. Now, to make sure that I don't keep you in the pose too long, I moved my phone. So let me get it so I can do the timer. So I didn't bring my clock. I should have put my clock in there. Anyway, take those legs, bring them into butterfly pose. So kids, I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode, and now I'm going to put on my clock. Give yourself butterfly for just a second. We're going to take a deep breath and go. Let the shoulders go. Now, with an inhale, we're going to lift back up. Let's do what we did a moment ago, but Kelly wasn't with us. Take the heels out. Give yourself a little bow. Take a breath and go. For God's sakes, Kelly, I hope you weren't doing this while you were driving. Now we're going to lift back up. Bring the heels of your feet in together. Last time, give yourself a little bow and a breath. And then we're going to gently lift up. Take the heels out. Now, we're going to first bring one foot inward. We're going to get have one leg out wide. So we want them wide, but one leg is in. If you need a prop under the knee to support it, that's what you do. It's a 3-minute pose. We're going to do 1.5 minute over the leg, 1.5 minute to the middle. But first, let's twist to acclimate ourselves to that long leg side. Doesn't matter if it's right or left. I'm trying to stop doing that. Makes it a little easier, but I have to find the right words. Turn the toes up on that extended leg. The hand, that same hand goes behind you. The opposite hand goes to the outside of your extended leg. You're going to look over your back shoulder and you're going to breathe. Keep breathing. Draw the shoulder blade back. Keep your hands. Turn your head. Look to the other side. Now, relax. Relax your arms to each side of the extended leg. We're going to gently bow over that leg. Get your yoga props. Put a folded blanket. Put a prop underneath your extended leg so it's easier. Maybe you want to have it straight. It feels better that way. Doesn't matter. But we're all going to take a deep breath and go. Ah. Let the shoulders relax. Let the head hang. Take another deep breath. Ah. Breathe into it. Let your shoulders relax. Stay with your breath. Stay with the pose. Don't force it either. Relax into it. Now we're going to gently lift our head up. Take the prop out from underneath your leg and take both hands to the inside, to the middle. Stay low, bending at your hip crease. You're going to bring your elbows to the floor or put your yoga props underneath your elbows so you can relax to the center. Up high, down low. You could stack it way up here, but we're relaxed to the middle. We're going to take a deep breath and we're going to go. Oh, stay with it. Try to evenly press your hips to the floor. You may have gripped your butt on that bent knee side, trying to balance yourself. Relax into it. Let your shoulders relax. Let your head hang. And don't go anywhere. Take a deep breath, though. Oh. Now, we're going to ever so gently relax a little more or come out of it. But we're on our last seconds. See if you can relax even deeper, pressing the hips to the floor and just relaxing. One more deep breath, everybody. Ah. Gently lift back up. Oh. Get rid of your props. Work your extended ankle out. We're going to take the other leg out. Work it around. Get the circulation back in there. Bring the soles of the feet together. Give yourself a bow. Excuse me. Lift back up. Take the heels out. Give yourself a bow. Lift back up. Heels come together. Give yourself a bow. Now we're going to lift up. Bring your hands behind your thighs. Knees up. We're going to rock our knees from side to side. We're getting the other side. I didn't forget. I just think you need a break from that. The groin muscles. I know we don't want to overdo it. Get those feet out wide. We're going to press one knee down. We'll bring it back up. Go to the first side. Bring it back up. Down to the first side. Bring it up. Go to the second side. Walk the feet in together, bring it back. Last time, butterfly. Now we're going to take our legs. Please take your legs out wide, comfortably wide, or you will cheat. We just all do. We'll take them out wide, work your ankles around. Only you know what leg you did. So the extended leg from the first time, that foot comes in. We keep that other leg out wide. We can use a prop if we need to. We can use a prop under the knee or your soft prop, your folded towels or blanket. Now we're gonna set up. We're gonna bring that the extended leg. Bring that hand behind you. Opposite hand goes to the thigh. Turn the toes up on that extended leg. Sit up tall. Look over your back shoulder. Are you breathing? Acclimate yourself to that. Keep breathing. Keep your hands. Turn your head. Look to the other side. Now, come back to the center. And all we're going to do is take a deep breath and we're going to bow over that leg. Once you go over that leg, take a deep breath and go, ah, relax into it. Let it all go. It's going to feel different on each side. Shoulders relax. Let the head hang. Have that knee come up way up high, or maybe not. You make sure it's right for you. Let the shoulders go. Let the head hang. Take a deep breath. Oh, that bent knee. Notice you feel that in that opposite hip over there, that hip where the knee is bent. Yeah, feel that extra stretch there. Try to square your shoulders over the leg. If that means you need to set up higher, so be it. But prop yourself so you can relax the neck and shoulders. Please don't push it. Please don't fight it. Let it go. Take a deep breath and go. Ah, it's different on each side, isn't it? Way different. Okay. We're going to lift ourselves up. We can keep the knee bent or take the prop out. We're going to keep ourselves low and walk ourselves to the center. We're going to gently bow to the center. We can have our props up high, put pillows, make it up high if you need to. If you have to set up and relax forward, that's fine too. It really doesn't matter how deep you go. It does matter that you're breathing into it. Let it soften. Don't push it. Ah, we're almost there. Stay with your breath. Stay with the pose. Ladies, try to square the hips up. Try to press both hips down. Oh, and I forgot to remind you, don't grip your butt muscles. Take a deep breath and go. Ah, let it go. We're on our last few seconds, girls. And then gently, slowly lift back up. Get rid of your props. Take that bent leg, stretch it out. Oh, work those ankles. Soles of the feet come together. Give yourself a bow. Lift back up. Take the heels out. Give yourself a bow. Now let's lift up. Bring the feet in together. Bring the knees up. Rock the knees. And then go ahead and meet me onto your tummies. We're going to do Sphinx pose. So meet me on your tummy, and then we're going to go into pigeon pose. So we can lay on our backs for pigeon, or if you're feeling a little adventuresome, you can be on your tummy. So it doesn't matter for pigeon today at all. But we are going to come down. We're going to lay down onto our tummies. We're going to stack our hands. Oh, I forgot. We have not done plank in, God, a million years, hasn't it been? So let our head, we'll have to change that. We're going to let our head rest on top of our hands. Stack the fingers, okay? Most, if you're going to stack the hands, that's the most, but don't stack your forearms. Stack the hands or stack the fingers. Let the nose rest downward. Rock your hips because we're not being tight asses. We're loosey goosey. Wiggle your hips around. Now take a deep breath and go, ah. Now, ladies, gently lift up. Get those elbows underneath your shoulders. I don't think any of you brought any boyfriends in. I think it's just girls here today. So get those elbows underneath your shoulder. You can interlace your hands. I've actually found people who actually like to have their hands in Sphinx pose. You can do that. It helps realign you. But I want you to make sure your neck is happy because I've got some owie necks here. So maybe you put the yoga block between your hands and let your forehead rest on your yoga block, low or up high. For me, I like to rest it on the edge where it's not low, it's not too high. Lock likes it just in the middle, just right. So find your middle, what's just right. So we're going to breathe. Some of you just want to let your head hang. Everybody, this is so individual. Let it be individual. We're going to breathe deep into it. We're going to fill the belly like it's a big balloon that lifts us and raises us up high away from the floor. On the exhale, we're going to allow that balloon to deflate and melt the ribs safely to the floor. Focus on that breath. Inhale out your back ribs into the kidneys themselves, the adrenal glands. Exhale, let it relax. Full deep breathing. Couple more breaths like that. Focus on that. Don't go to sleep. I know it's that time of day that we could easily fall asleep. Don't. Stay with your breath. Stay with the pose. Breathe into it. We're almost halfway there. Now, what we're going to do is work with the neck. So if you'd like, move your yoga block out of the way. If you don't like the next series, please don't participate. Just let your head rest on the block. You need to come out of the pose at any time and flatten yourself. Do that. So we're going to take out the yoga prop and we're going to do tiny no movement. Now let the head hang again. Take a deep breath and just go. Ah. This time, keeping the butt relaxed with an inhale, lift your chin up as high as one shoulder, only up as high as you want to. And on the exhale, bring it down and to the other shoulder. Inhale down into one side. Exhale, bring it down into the other side. Just a couple of times. Now, let your head hang. Don't go anywhere. Take a deep breath. Go. Ah, little yeses with your chin. Gentle, tiny. Maybe they get larger. Maybe they never do. With an inhale, either lift your head and look at your hands or look up over across the other side of the room. On your exhale, turn your head to one side, hold it and breathe. Stretch your eye muscles, stretch into that fuzzy zone. With an inhale, bring your nose to center. Exhale, look to the other side. Hold that, keep breathing. With an inhale, bring it back to center. Now we're all going to meet down onto the floor. We're going to put our arms by the hips with the palms up. One cheek of your face is on the yoga mat. Take a deep breath and go, ah. Turn your head to the opposite cheek. Take a deep breath and go, ah. With an inhale, lift yourself up. Child's pose. If you are done with me on your knees, lay on your back, hug your knees into your chest, round your back, nose to your bent knees. But if you can, hips go to your heels, round forward. We're trying to make a C curve. You're letting your neck be in a comfortable, relaxed way. So support your head any way you want. Take a deep breath, go. Ah. One more breath. Ah, girls, we're going to lift up. Now, we're going to do pigeon pose, swan pose. So if you want to do on your belly, I'll cue you for that. But if you'd like to use your chair or do legs up the wall, go ahead. It doesn't matter. Make it comfortable, make it work for you. The right pose is the pose that works for you, not one that somebody chooses for you. Make sure if you're legs up the wall or legs up the chair, you get your hips as close to the chair or the wall as you can. And then you take the legs up. Now, once you lay down, nothing under your head. If you have a hair tie, get it out from underneath you. Nothing under your head unless it's a folded blanket, just to make your chin level to the floor. So I'm going to start your clock in just a second. We're going to put one ankle on your thigh, okay? And just as simple as that, just putting the ankle on the thigh may be enough to feel it in that bent knee side. Maybe the leg that's resting on the chair, maybe you want to bend it and put your foot either. Maybe you want to move the chair a little bit and put the foot right in front of the chair. That works too. Sometimes just bending the knee with it close is good enough and pressing into it. If you have legs up the wall, you're going to bend that straight leg enough. You'll all feel it. And yes, you're breathing into that tight hip. Now, if you chose to do the one on the belly, meet me. Maybe you haven't gotten started, need a little instruction, but let me remind you so you can realign yourself if you need to. That one knee comes forward, you shoot it out to the side of your yoga mat. The opposite hand reaches down and pulls the foot forward. Roll the toes under behind you and scooch the hip down. Walk the foot and the knee back. That takes a while before it really feels comfortable and not awkward. If the elbows do not go to the floor, build the floor up to you. Make it work. Allow that bent knee hip to stretch. You're going to feel it in the outside of the hip, whether you're on the belly or you're on the back. We're relaxing. We're not using muscle energy, and we're breathing into the hip. Make sure your knee is safe. Make sure your knee is not screaming. Make sure it's not hurting. Make sure that it's a good stretch for you. Take a deep breath and go, ah. So whether you're on your belly or your back, it's another easy pose you could fall asleep to. Please don't fall asleep in this pose. I beg you, please don't. Breathe into it. And many of us have. I have. Some of you have. I'm not telling, but we have. So please stay awake. Focus on it. So it's the same thing as like meditation. If you're snoring through meditation, that's a nap. If you're snoring through your yoga, well, that's kind of like, being drunk and falling into a pose, right? No, we want to stay focused. We want to focus on what we're feeling. We don't want to stay too long, for goodness sake. We really don't. If you wanted to, if you're on your tummy, walk your elbows away from your knee, the front knee, relax into it and breathe. It will make it hurt more. I'm sorry, or you're welcome. Now, if you're on your belly, let's go to the other side. Go over towards the knee. Put the hands on the floor. Straighten both arms if you want to, and look over your shoulder there. Get that extra stretch in the whole body. Breathe. Now, we're going to come back to the center, and we're going to melt ourselves to the floor. Notice how different it feels if you're on your butt belly, the little extra movement there. Take a deep breath and go. I encourage any modifications to any version of the pose. Please make sure it's good for you. Take a deep breath. We're almost complete with the pose. Take one more deep breath. Now, all we're going to do is take that ankle off your thigh or lift yourself out of it if you're on the floor. Take both legs straight up, even if you're on the floor with the legs up the chair. Work your ankles around. If you're on your tummy, come to your hands and knees, do the circles, walk your dog, whatever feels good, leg extensions. If you're on your back, please bring your knees to your chest, nose to your bent knees. You can rock, it's your pose. If you want, child's pose on your knees. Now let's get ready for the other side. Only you know which side. Either have the bent knee, that last side, the bent knee that goes straight up the wall, or bent up onto your chair. Put the opposite ankle on the thigh. Take it to where you're feeling it in the hip. Maybe a gentle stretch in the knee, not a searing pain or horrible pain in that knee. Please, you're in charge. Breathe into it. You can even just bend the same arm, bent knee, bend the elbow, and just gently press against it. It shouldn't take a lot. You want to relax the shoulders and the neck. Now, for my friends who would like to be onto your tummy, you bring that opposite knee forward, you shoot it out to the side. The opposite hand from that bent knee pulls that foot forward. The back toes, they roll under. You're going to lift your knee up and push the hip down. Can you go a little further? Lift the knee up, press the hip down, and relax the toes. We're going to come onto our elbows. Well, we have yoga props to stick underneath if we don't want to go that low. You listen to your body. If you don't have high enough props, you put you just build them up as high as you can. It doesn't matter how high you come, but we're going to relax. Doesn't matter how low you go. Relax and breathe into that hip. It's going to feel day and night different. The knee's going to feel different. Try to not grip your butt muscles. Let the hips open apart. Take a deep breath and go. Oh, no sleeping. Stay awake. No forcing it. Breathing into it. Several breaths. Take a deep breath. Ah. Stay with it. Now, if you're on your tummy, walk the elbows away from the knee that's in the front. Go towards the foot and go, oh my God, it hurts even more. Not in the knee, but in the hip. Girls, you know, we're all buddies here. You can always pop your mic on if I've confused you, if you need a little clarification. I'm here for you. Take a deep breath. Now, let's go to the other side. Walk the elbows to the knee. If you want to, put the hands on the floor, lift yourself up, and look over your back shoulder. Breathe here. Let the hip press towards the heel of your foot. Yeah, it hurts more. And then we're all going to come back to the center, and we're going to allow ourselves to relax and melt. We're on our last moments of the pose. Let it relax. Let it go. Stay with your breath. Stay with the pose. We're almost done. We're doing great. And remember, if you came out of the pose, that's what yin is for. You only stay in it as long as you need to. Take one more deep breath. Go. Ah. You're going to gently, if you're on your tummy, lift up and come up onto your hands and knees. You're on with your legs up on the chair. Hug those knees into your chest and send those legs straight up. Work the ankles. Everybody's moving hips or working ankles, hugging knees to chest. Remember, this is free movement. So if you have any pose you want to do, you want to roll the toes under and take each leg out in leg extensions, that's great. If you'd like to come into down dog and walk your puppy, you can do it, or you don't have to. What feels good to you? Take a few deep breaths and go, ah. Now, we want to make sure Elaine gets the big bang out of her yoga class, her yin class, because she has to leave early. So come up onto your hands and knees. You got it. It's dragon pose. So we're going to take our yoga blocks, put it at the front of the mat, Knees, we're taking care of our knees, aren't we? So we're going to take our blankets, we open them out so our knees are well padded. We're going to be up onto the hands and knees. This is for those psoas. So take yourself into table, not a rounded cat. Get those hands out so they're under the shoulders and your back is long. We're going to take the yoga block behind your left hand, put it there so you can see where the back of the hand is, because we're moving both hands out of the way. We're going to drag that left foot up between the hands where the hand was. Get your yoga block to each side of the left heel. Now, bend your left knee directly over the ankle. You want that nice right angle. Now, both hands are onto the yoga block. We're going to roll our back toes under for just a second and lift the back knee up. Press into the heel of the foot. Gently drop the knee on the floor. Take your right hand out to the right side about 3 inches. Put your left hand on your thigh. Press your hip forward. Look over your left shoulder and breathe. Now, if your wrist hurts, stop it. We can build that up and put your yoga blocks there, and you can come on your elbow and still get a great stretch in the psoas. You might actually like it better. That's your choice. Play with it. We're here for 2 minutes. You have time to play with it. But again, make sure it's right for you. Don't hurt your wrist. Don't hurt the knee. Turn the mic on. Ask me for clarification if you need it, but let that right hip press down. Breathe into it. Girls, we're almost complete with the pose. Stay with it or let it go. Remember, child's pose is a great pose to come back to. We're almost done. Stay with it. Breathe. Are you holding your breath? For God's sakes, breathe. I don't think you can fall asleep in this pose. Let me know if you ever do. We're on our last seconds. Stay with it, ladies. We're almost there. You can put both hands on each side of that left heel if you're done with it, but we've just got a couple more seconds if you want. And then we're going to bring both hands with yoga blocks to each side of your left heel. Press forward, slowly straighten your left leg as much or as little as you'd like. You can keep the knee bent or it can be straight, but we have our hands with the yoga blocks and we're reaching out. We're pushing the toes down and we're bowing over the leg. It's a one-legged forward fold. We're going to take a breath and go, ah. Just for grins and giggles, lift the sole of your foot up and go, oh. Look up instead of bowing. Your arms are straight and go, holy crap, that was mean. Then relax your foot. Both hands come to the inside of your left foot. Bring your left knee back to meet your right knee. Oh, thank God we only have 2 legs. One more to go. Move those hips around. Roll the toes under, each leg out, walk it out. You can do your dog. You can do leg extensions. What feels good? Now, before we come into it, I want you to sit back. You can sit any way you want. If sitting in hero's pose isn't good, up on the knees. Excuse me. Interlace your hands, work those wrists around. Let's do it the opposite way. Unfold your hands, go the other way, work your wrists around. Press the palms of your hands out and inhale. Lift those hands up and release those arms down. Let's get the other side. Hands and knees. Put your yoga block to the back of your right hand. Once you've done that, move the block up, move your hands out of the way, and we're going to bring our right foot up where our hand approximately was. We're going to put the yoga blocks at the heel of your right foot. Right knee is bent directly over the ankle. We're going to roll our left toes under, lift the knee up, press back into the heel. Breathe. Drop the knee on the floor. Now we're going to take our left hand over 3 inches or so. Right hand goes on your thigh, and you're going to look over the shoulder. Let the hip melt. We're going into that deep stretch, that muscle, that psoas muscle. It attaches to the inside of your thigh, goes through your hip. It doesn't attach to the lower back, it's to the middle of the back. That's why it's sore. It's always sore. Now, if the wrist hurts, for goodness sakes, get off your wrist. Get the yoga blocks. Maybe the yoga block is too low and you get more up onto it and you're able to look over the shoulder and breathe. Whatever is right for you, hand on the floor, elbow on a prop, it doesn't matter. But we're breathing into that left hip, relaxing into it. Oh, I like the toes rolled under in the back. I hope you do. It helps the knee, helps everything there. Remember, if the knees hurt at all, you stop. If you need clarification, pop the mic on. Take another breath. Oh, we're on our last few seconds of the pose. I wouldn't let you stay 1 more second than we want to. 1 more breath. Now, both hands on each side of your right heel with your blocks. You're going to straighten your right leg as much or as little as you'd like. The knee can be bent. It doesn't have to be straight. But we're going to bow to that leg. We're folding at our leg band line. We're not folding the back. Take a breath. Go. Lift the sole of your right foot up. Spread the toes. Lift your back long and straight. Straighten those arms and look at your toes. Are you breathing? Now relax your foot. Right hand comes to the middle. Right knee comes back next to your left knee. Move those hips in big circles. One way, go the other way. Please come into child's pose. Round the back, take a few deep breaths there. Take 1 more breath in your child's pose. And then we're going to lift up. I think we have time for 1 more for you, Elaine, before you have to leave. Let's do frog pose. So you want to have the blanket out long. So make sure the blanket goes long because you want your knees to slide. You don't want them to get stuck. So we take the blanket, make it long and wide out off of our mat. And we want every single yoga prop that we have. Get your bolsters, get your great big giant pillows, get your blocks all to the front of the mat. This is one you can fall asleep to, but we're going to come back to hands and knees. Now, all you're going to do, take your knees, slide them apart. Once the knees, your groin muscle says, that's enough, that's where you stop. You don't want your hips out past your knees. You don't want them to the heels, right to the center. That's the sweet spot. At that point, you grab your yoga props. You don't want anything under the pubic bone. It's under your belly and your chest. You usually don't want anything under your head unless it's separate and you put it under your forehead. So if the blocks aren't enough, get your pillow, your blanket, stick it under the chest. Make sure you can breathe. I like to have my head in the center so the nose hangs down like a massage table. and I stack my arms and support the head. Now, you take your feet out as wide as your knees. You're allowing gravity to press your groin downward. So you should feel a gentle stretch to start with. Let gravity do the work for you. Let your breath be full and deep. And again, you could easily go to sleep in this pose. Do not fall asleep. Stay with it if you can. I'll have to find us a cowbell to make sure everybody wakes up. Relax into this. This is one of those amazing groin stretches that just gets you deep into it without too much forcing. You don't want any forcing. You want to just let go. And boy, is that a hard thing for us to do, is just to relax. Effortless effort. Take a deep breath. Ah. Let the groin open. Let your back, your neck release. Your spine should be in a neutral spot. No forward folding, no cat rounding, no back bending. Neutral. Let it relax. Let those pesky shoulders go. We're almost complete with the pose. Stay with it, or we're almost halfway done with the pose. We're not complete with it. I'm sorry. You may be wishing. I hope you're not, because this pose should be done very gently. All of the yin poses should be done gently. Don't force yourself into it. Relax yourself. You can remove props out of the way and go deeper into them. Maybe you go, I'll never go deep into it. Breathe. Now we're not putting weight on our knees. This is to the inner thighs. That's the pressure. That's the pressure opening your groin up, not through forward folding. So stay with it. Come out of it if you need to. For goodness sakes, please don't stay in any yin pose that is just too much. Now we're halfway complete with the pose. Stay with it. We're all breathing into it. You can always turn your head to each side and stretch your neck, but again, mindful of your neck, mindful of your knees. We never force any pose, and if you feel any pain, you stop. I know this feels pressure, you feel pain, and it may be really hard to do, but you know the difference between searing pain that's not right from a big stretch. Don't overstretch. Use those props. We're almost complete. Stay with it. Take a deep breath and see if you can let go. Go. Ah. We're going to work our way slowly out of it. We put our elbows underneath of us. We slide one knee inward a little bit. We slide the other knee inward a little bit until each knee comes back underneath your hips. Hands and knees, if you're able to, move your hips in circles. Do the extended childs, do childs, but also do the hero's rock, where you put your hands by your knees and you rock the outside of your hips from side to side. Great for the hips and knees. And then, kids, let's sit down on our bottom. We're going to do seated pigeon pose. So, yeah, you probably need a whole bunch of yoga props. Make sure when you sit down You're seated on a blanket, something high enough. The harder this pose is for you, the higher up you should be. We're not forcing any pose. You can do this single or double. Really, you're not a weenie by just doing a single. It doesn't matter because it's the hip we're stretching. So sit up onto your blanket, high or low. Get all your toys right next to you because you're going to need them. Now, we're going to do this as a 3-minute pose. I don't know if you have time for that, Elaine. You budget your time. Work your ankles, separate them. Now, let's take your straight leg, the leg you're going to keep straight, put something soft underneath the knee. It doesn't have to be high. I don't want it high. It doesn't need to be bent, but it does need to be protected from being hyperextended. The other leg that you're going to put on the thigh, you're going to pick that foot up in your hand. You're going to rock the hip and just simply rest the ankle on your thigh. Single pigeon. If you want to do the double, that bottom knee is bent and your ankle and thigh in alignment. You're making a square. I did start your clock. So whether you have double legs or single leg, we're all going to bow forward. You're going to let your head relax. You're going to let your shoulders relax. If you've got your big pillows, you put your pillows up and you bow over that. Double's the same thing. Bow as much as you'd like. Some people want to stretch their arms way out long. Some people want to go, holy crap, and just wave at the floor from afar. It doesn't matter how far you go, but we're in that bent knee hip. This is the piriformis where it's so doggone tight. If you wanted to, you can take your hand and open the thigh up to release that sciatic nerve. Press down. You can even put your elbow on it. But at some point, go back to the fold. Relax into it. Take a deep breath and go, ah. Be mindful of your knees. Do what's right for you. We're halfway complete with the pose. Thank goodness. I know this isn't an easy pose unless you're that 1% of the population that, your hips are designed for that. Take a deep breath. Go, ah, relax into it. And there are a few people in the population never taking yoga before. This is natural for them to set like. For most of us, we have to work hard at it. We're almost complete with the pose. Remember, stay with your breath. Don't hold it. Breathe through your nose as much as you can. Don't mouth breathe. Breathe deep through the nose. Now, I know it's super tender. Take a deep breath, go. Ah, take another deep breath. Ah, use your hands to lift up. Everybody's going to take that top ankle off. If your bottom leg is bent, straighten it out. If it's straight, pull the prop out. Rock that baby either in your elbow, your hand. If you're burping the baby these days, put that foot behind your neck. Now, take the leg out. We're going to take that forearm right behind that knee. The opposite hand pulls that shin bone down. Work your ankle. It's for the knee. Put the foot onto the floor, keeping it tight over your forearm. Use your hand to massage all around your knee. Get to know your knee. Go from the soft tissue up to the bones. And then we're going to take your leg out, work your ankles. Let's do the other side. The top leg, We're going to put the prop underneath the extended leg if you need it. We're going to grab that top foot. We're going to rock the baby a little bit, and you're going to put the ankle on your thigh. If you're doing the double, you simply bend that bottom knee, ankle and thigh alignment. So find that. And again, if this is a difficult pose, whether it's single or double, put more under your behind. Do it. Now we're going to bow, whether we have double, whether we have single, we're bowing over the leg. Let the back round. Doesn't matter how far you go. You could be setting up, waving at your floor from afar. You could be all the way forward. Holy cow, it's day and night in both hips, isn't it? Completely different. You're going to breathe into that hip. You're going to let everything go. If you want to take a little break from bowing, you can put your hands on that bent knee side and press down on that thigh, open the hip up, an elbow onto the thigh, pressing down, whatever feels just right. Take a deep breath and go. Ah, we're almost there, kids. Stay with it if you can. Give it up if you need to. I know it's tight. That's why we're stretching into it. We're almost there. Take a deep breath. Ah, we're going to ever so gently lift back up. The top leg, pick your leg up. Slide the bottom leg out if it's not straight. If it's straight, pull your prop out. Rock the baby. Now let's work the knee. Get the leg out, get your forearm right behind that knee. The other hand pulls your shin bone down over it. Work your ankle. Set the foot on the floor. Massage your knee. Get all in it. And then we're going to straighten the leg out. Work your ankles. And now we're going to bring our feet in together. Please give yourself a very gentle bow. We're going to lift up. Take your right leg out. Cross your left leg over your right leg. Left hand behind you. Right hand holds the knee, hugs the knee, or the elbow goes to the outside. We're going to set up, look over your left shoulder, and breathe here. Now turn your head, look to the opposite side. Draw that left shoulder blade back. Pull the knee across so you feel that in the outside of the hip. And then we're going to unwind, come to the center. Take your left leg out, cross your right leg over your left leg, left hand holds, hugs the knee, or the elbow goes to the outside. Our right hand goes behind us. Look over your right shoulder as much or as little as you'd like. Breathe here. And then gently turn your head. Look to the other side. And then we're going to come back to the center and we're going to release the pose. Work your ankles. Now, we're going to go ahead and lay down onto our backs. We're going to do our bridge pose. So take all your props out from underneath you. Nothing behind your head, not even a hair tie, not even a folded blanket. You're going to take your yoga block. If you don't like, we're going to do the bridge pose. So if you don't like the yoga block underneath your hips, fold the blanket up. It's just as high as your yoga block and it's way more comfortable. So you make that decision. So once you lay down onto the mat, Have the knees bent, feet on the floor. We're going to address the kidneys. So we're going to bring both knees in. We're going to put our forearms behind the knees. We're going to get the knees wide apart and we're going to gently rock from side to side. You can bring your head up between your knees, rock from side to side. Rhomboid muscles, kidneys, they need that. Now, head and shoulders rest to the floor. Put your feet on the mat. Lift your hips up once. Drop your hips down. Now, let's get your block or the blanket or whatever prop you have. Put it underneath your hips. Make sure it's under the tailbone, that it is not under your lumbar spine. We're going to let the arms rest out wide, palms up. We're going to gently stretch both legs out. We're going to take a breath and go. Oh. Let the shoulders release. Let your back relax. Take another deep breath. Ah. Let it stretch the front of your hips, but just as much as your hips. Let it stretch your neck. Let it stretch the back of your shoulders. You're going to tuck your chin ever so slightly and relax. Take a deep breath and go. Ah. This is an easy pose to fall asleep into. This is a great pose to do at the end of your day. It releases shoulders. It stretches the psoas. It releases your back. Breathing deep. We're almost finished with the pose. Let's do the cleansing breath. Take a deep breath, go. Ah. Make the sound. Take a deep breath. Ah. We're almost complete with the pose. Stay with it. Now, all we're going to do is slide our arms down so that they're by the side. We're going to put one foot on the floor, bending the knee. The other foot is going to follow it. Hold on to your prop and bring both knees into your chest. Take both knees around in a circle. One way, go the other way. Then you're going to take your legs straight up, flex your feet, push the heels up, point your toes, heels up, point your toes, bend your knees, put your feet back on the floor, get rid of your yoga prop. Lift your hips up, drop your hips down. Let the arms rest out wide, palms up. You're going to take your right foot and put it right next to your left foot. You're going to take your left leg out wide and cross it tightly over your right leg as best you can. Try to point the top of your left foot to the floor. We're going to take our right foot over to the left side as far as it goes. Now point the top of your left foot to the floor as we drop both knees down to the right side. If that's too far, grab your yoga prop, put it over to the right-hand side so you don't go that far. If both shoulders are flat on the floor, that's perfect. If the shoulder comes up off the floor, the left shoulder, you've gone too far. Take a deep breath and go. Ah, look up if your neck should not be twisting, or look over your left shoulder if it feels good. Take one more deep breath. Ah, lift your knees back up. Uncross your legs. Hug both knees into your chest, round your back, nose to your bent knees. And then put your feet on the floor. Lift your hips up once. Drop your hips down. Put your left foot next to your right foot. Take your right leg, cross it tightly over your left leg. Take that left foot, move it over to the right side of your yoga mat. Now, the top of your right foot, point it to the floor and drop the knees to the left side. Again, use your prop. If your right shoulder came up, put the prop under your knees so that both shoulders are relaxed on the floor. Look straight up to the ceiling. If your neck feels good, look over your right shoulder. Don't go anywhere. Take a deep breath and go. Ah, another breath. Ah. Now bring both knees back up. Take your leg off, put both feet on the mat, lift your hips up once, drop them down. Hug both knees into your chest, round your back, nose to your bent knees. Head and shoulders rest on the floor. Get your feet on the floor, knees bent. Feet as wide as your yoga mat, and let your knees rest in. If you want to feel more stretch, you shimmy your hips between the heels of your feet more or not. Drop your arms out. Take a deep breath and go. Ah. Wrap your arms around your shoulder blades. Give yourself a hug. Put elbows on top. Let's put it on the bottom. Open the arms out and put the opposite elbow on top. Open the arms out wide. Take a breath. Ah. Point one knee to the ceiling as you press the opposite knee down. Gently go from side to side. One knee points to the ceiling while you press the opposite knee down. Open the hips up. Just a couple more breaths, releasing your sacrum. And then we're going to bring both knees back up. Walk your feet and your knees in together. Hug both knees into your chest. Round your back, nose to your bent knees. Now your head and shoulders rest on the floor. You're going to take your yoga blanket or your big pillow, stick it under your knees. Go legs up your chair, legs up your wall, whatever feels good. But we're going to let our arms rest out. And we're going to do a breath technique. So take a deep breath and let it out with a big sigh. Ah. So we're going to do that blood pressure breath technique. We're going to inhale to the count of 4 through the nose if you can. Hold it for your count of 7. Blow it out of your lips like you're blowing candles out for the count of 8. So let's get started. Take a deep breath. Let it out with a big sigh. Ah. Take a deep breath in and hold your breath for a moment. Squeeze a little more breath in. Blow it out. Squeeze the stomach in and up to the heart. Inhale to your count of 4. Hold it for your count of 7. Blow it out of your lips for your count of 8. Inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Out 8. Inhale to 4. Hold 7. Mouth 8. Please do this for 2 more rounds on your own in silence. After your last breath, let your breath be. Take a deep breath in. Let it out with ah. Breathe in. Let it out with mm. One more time. Breathe in. Ah. Breathe in. Mm. Notice the vibration left on your lips. Let that vibration reverberate through the entire body. Allow every cell of your body to open and savor that delicious sensation. Now wiggle your toes, your fingers, wiggle your ankles and wrists. Give yourself any extra stretch, a hug and squeeze to the nose to the knees, rock or not. But then we're going to take both knees around in circles, go one way, go the other way. Remember, this should feel good. Separate your knees, go one way, go the other way. Now reach your hands between your legs, grab your ankles and rock. Happy baby. Rock from side to side. Now, come on, happy babies, come up to any old seated position you'd like. Make sure you're comfortable when you set up. Let's share an om before. Oh, let's stretch our hands before we go. So, put your right hand on your shoulder, elbow to the side, circles one way, circles go the other way. Ow, ow, ow. Elbow forward, stretch your arm out. Pinky comes in, your thumb holds that pinky down. Hold it there the whole time. Left hand comes over and pulls your ring finger back. Bring your hand to your shoulder. Stretch the arm back out. Get your middle finger, hand to the shoulder. Stretch the arm back out. Pointer finger, same thing. Hand to the shoulder. Stretch the arm back out. Shake the hand out. We grip all day long. We have to do that reverse or then we get trigger hand. Palm up. Take all 4 fingers, pull them down, stretch out long, lower it down. It's going to hurt more. I'm sorry. Bend your elbow, go under the hand and pull your thumb down. Pull each finger down one at a time. If they pop, wonderful. It was a lie we were told never to pop your fingers. Pop them. Shake your hand out. Now left hand on the shoulder, elbow to the side, circles one way, circles go the other way. Elbow in front, stretch the arm out. Pinky in, thumb holds it down. Right hand pulls your ring finger back. Bring both hands to your shoulder. Stretch the arm out. Get the middle finger, hand to the shoulder, stretch the arm out. Pointer finger, hand to the shoulder, stretch the arm out. Shake that hand out, palm up, pull all four fingers down, stretch it straight out long in front of you, lower it down for more pain. I'm sorry. Bend your elbow, go underneath, start with the thumb. Pull each finger down, one at a time. Shake your hand down. Put your hands together, thumbs at your heart. If you'd like to Om, close your eyes. Invite a deep breath in. Om.